Just remember, it's very, very important for us to stay in formation, to stay in line. We want to be about 20-30 meters apart, and if we do find any wire or snares, then whistle it in so that we know what's going on. We don't want one or two people going ahead and then 2 or 3 lagging behind. It's important that we stay together so we don't miss anything, and also it's a little bit safer that way. Alright, so we're looking at a particular track. Which track is it? So there's a nice track there. What do we think about that track? Do we know what kind of animals made that? Is it going to be a...
It's a cat.
It's going to be a cat. Why is it a cat?
Because it's got 3 lobes and dogs have got only 2 lobes.
2. Okay, so we've got a cat, 3 lobes. And is that a big track or a small track?
So we can look big.
Quite big. Okay, so what cat do we know of that's got big paws?
It could be a lion.
Be a lion.
Or
Okay.
a leopard.
So that there's definitely a lion. That's way too big for a leopard.
Yeah.
Alright? That would have to be a very, very big male leopard for it to be like that. So that's going to be a lion. Okay, so the lion has come, this direction has come up here and has gone probably following where those buffalo were. So if you look how fresh that is, that's been within the last 12 hours that track's been here or put down. Okay, so quite a lot of lion activity around here. So as we're going through the bush, keep your eyes and ears open. If you've got a buffalo on a snare or a dead buffalo because the lions are taking it and we bump them, then those lions are going to be kind of agitated with us. So we always got our senses highly alert when we're walking through the bush like this. Okay, so it just makes it real that we're actually in a truly wildlife area, wilderness area, and we've got to keep all of our ears open, our eyes open, our senses must be alive. Here you can see that sand there, okay, so it's been moved, and if you look underneath here, it's very, very, very soft, and it's very there's a lot of water or moisture very close to that surface there. It is a damp area anyway. Okay, so the lines have come through early this morning. It hasn't dried out. There's a little bit of dry sand on top there, but not much. Right, everything else there is still very, very damp. And of course, very, very easy to pick up tracks in the early morning. Now, when the sun's at its highest, very difficult because the shadows are not in our favor. So early morning, late afternoon is the best time to go tracking. And in fact, when you're doing it, you actually want the sun in front of you, and you're tracking it into the shadows, and it makes life a bit easier. But of course, when the sun's in front of you, you can't see what's in front of you. So guys, this is in English what we call a sausage tree, because it's got big fruits that look like sausages. Kigili africana, it's a wonderful, wonderful tree. So you'll have baboons, monkeys will eat the sausages. They'll come up there. Elephants, giraffe will eat that, but normally when they're young. And then when they're full down, we can eat them. It helps clean your system out. But there's a lot of, I guess, acid in there. So if you had stomach ulcers or things like that, it would be very, very painful. If you try to eat that, it would actually really, really hurt your stomach as it went through. But the main medical thing that's used for this is the sausages. If you cut them and you wipe them on your skin, it is an anti-aging effect, and it also assists in curing skin cancers. So this is being harvested commercially, and the active ingredient, I'm not sure what that is, but the active ingredient is taken out, put into a cream, and then people will put that onto their faces, and it helps rejuvenate skins, and it also helps reduce skin melanomas and things like that. But more importantly, with what we're doing and the poaching that we've been looking at, one of the ways that people get over the river is by mokoros boats, wooden boats. All right. And if we have a look at this trunk here, where my rifle barrel is, this whole trunk there, this section, okay, you see how large that is. That would actually be a very, very nice piece of wood that I would like to chop down or chop out, and then hollow that out to make myself a boat. Okay, so made of wood. So what the guys do normally is they'll come and they'll chop it at the base. It'll fall down. They'll then chop all the branches off, and they will then cart away quite a big section of the tree. All right, and then they'll create what we call 3 or 5 day brew. It's a big barrel of beer, and all of the friends and family will be invited around to my house, and we'll have a couple of jars of that, and we will then start carving out that boat. So I don't do it by myself. It's actually a whole village effort, right? It's a lot of work that's involved, but there's also a bit of drink involved, because I don't want to be asking you guys all a favor if you're not going to get anything in return. So often the way to do it is beer, right? So traditionally that's how it would have been done. Here along this section of our river line, you'll find there's very, very few of these large trees left. And that's because behind me we've got the Zambezi River, we've got the river people of Zambia, And for generations and generations, they have been felling trees, carving them out, and creating mokoro boats. In Botswana, the operators over there actually started creating fiberglass boats and giving it to the communities. That is something that happens inside of Botswana. Bear in mind, we're on the border. So if we were to give people on the other side boats, they would probably use them for the same reason they are today, which is a mischievous reason, coming over and then poaching. But equally, we want to try and protect our trees. And thankfully, we do have some of these trees left, but not many, and not many of this size.
What other trees do they use to make these mokoros?
So another favorite one is the marula, sclerocaria. Of course, we know marula because it's got beautiful fruits on there, yellow fruits ripened by the African sun, and we make amarula cream from that. So marula is a very good one. It's a very straight trunk that it's got, nice to chop. It's quite narrow and easy to work. So marula, and also the wood carvers use a lot of marula branches to make their wood carvings. So that's another favorite one. And then the other one is pod mahogany. That also it's very heavy wood and a lot more difficult to work. But people will use that to make boats because the trunks are such that they can be fashioned out.